Okay, so today we're going to go through and substitute or work on section 3.3, which is general equations. I said the word substitute because there's a lot of that actually happens in this section. Let me jump into the notes here. Really, again, we're just looking at general equations, and anytime we have equations, the goal is always to rewrite them so we have a variable equaling a constant. In other words, you think of it like x equals a number, or y equals a number, or b equals a number, okay? Any letter equaling any number. In order to get to this point, we need to use the properties of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We did a little bit of this in section 3.1. This is really just going to be doing adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing in tandem with one another in maybe a single problem. Previously, it was just one or the other. Here, it is going to be both. Okay, I have just examples written here. I don't want to necessarily go through all of them. What I really want to do is, you can look at these if you want just to see how I do them, but I really just want to jump into some problems and work through examples here on the board. Let me get rid of my little cursor there. Whoop. There we go. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We'll go through a bunch of questions, and again, at the end, we'll go ahead and check it, but I just want to work through some of these problems with you to show you how to do them, okay? So question 12. 3x plus 1 is equal to 10, okay? So notice we've got something multiplying the x, and we've got the 1. When we're doing problems like this, okay, when you have to do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, any combination of those, you will always do the adding and subtracting first. Then you will do the multiplication and division. So, for example, this guy right here, we are going to subtract 1 from both sides first, okay? We are not going to deal with division, because the problem is if we do division, then we're going to divide 1 divided by 3, and that's going to cause a fraction, and it's going to be kind of a mess, and then we have to add everything back. It's just a nightmare. You can do it like that. It's not going to be easy. Anytime you have problems like this, you're always going to do adding and subtracting first, and then multiplication and division, okay? So when we make this subtraction, we're going to have 3x, and then this is going to equal 10 minus 1, which is equal to 9, okay? And now we get to this point. Now that we have 3 times x, remember we're doing the opposite of the multiplication, which is division. So we want to get rid of that 3, so we divide every piece by 3, and we find that x is equal to 3. 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. Okay? So now let's do the check. We'll go back to the original. 3 times the x is 3, plus 1 equals 10. 9 plus 1 equals 10. And sure enough, 10 equals 10. Okay? So we're checked. So again, when we're working with problems like this, you do adding and subtracting first, then the multiplication and division. All right. Let's do 22. 5 minus 6x is equal to a minus 13. Okay? So again, we want the variables on one side and the numbers all on the other side. So we have a plus 5 right here. I am going to subtract 5 from both sides. So minus 6x is equal to minus 13 minus 5. Careful. This is actually the same as a minus 18. Okay? And now that we have the minus 6 times the x, we're going to divide by a minus 6 on both sides. And then this is going to equal positive 3. So let's go ahead and check it. 5 minus 6 times 3 equals negative 13. 5 minus 18 equals negative 13. And the difference between these is 13, and the bigger one is negative, so it's a negative 13 equals negative 13. Look at that. Okay, so that's 22. All right, let's keep going. Question 38. All right. 9 minus 4x is equal to 6. Again, we want the numbers on one side, the variables on the other side, so we subtract 9. Okay, we're leaving that variable there. So we're left with a minus 4x because these go to 0. And then 6 minus 9 is going to equal a minus 3. And now we get rid of the 4 multiplying by dividing everything by a minus 4. So we're left with x equals minus 3 over minus 4. Because there's two negative signs, they cancel. So it's just going to be 3 over 4. Okay? So 9 minus 4 times 3 over 4 is equal to 6. 9 minus, again, remember, 4 times 3 is 12 over 4, which is equal to 6. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. 6 equals 6. Done. Perfect. Okay, let's keep going. How many problems did I have today? A few. All right, I'm going to do... I feel like I'm missing a page. Hang on a sec. I got to look through my notes. Oh, no, I just have a bunch. Okay, let's do question 62. Okay. These are going to involve fractions, which is everybody's favorite thing in the world, of course. 3/8 is equal to 5 over 12 minus 1/3 times b. Okay, how the heck do you do one of these? Well, what you need to do when you're solving these kinds of problems is you need to look at each of the numbers below. Okay, the 8, the 12, and the 3. Now the question is, what multiple of those numbers will be the smallest multiple? Okay, so let's just take a look at 3. Okay, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, there's a 12 there. Good. 8 can't go into 12 though, so that's a problem. So let's keep going. 12, 15, nope, can't make 15 out of a 12. 18, can't make 18 out of a 12. 21, you can't make 21 out of a 12. 24, yes you can. 12 times 2 is 24. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, so that number is important, okay? The trick is you have to look for the lowest common multiple, okay? So you multiply 3 out a few times to see which one is going to be, but the truth is you have to figure out which is going to work among all of these numbers, okay? So in this case it's going to be 24. A lot of it is just trial and error. You just have to kind of look at the numbers. My tactic usually is to take the lowest number and just keep stating multiples of it. So I kind of did it 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, okay? And then at every single number, check to see if these also have multiples. Okay? So 12 and 3 have a multiple, which would just be 12, but it's not including 8. So we have to go to the next one. So that's kind of the trick there with that guy. So what we're going to do is we are going to multiply this number that we get times each and every single one of these pieces. Okay, and I'm going to explain why here in just a minute. 24 times 3/8 is equal to 24 times 5/12 minus 24 times 1/3 times b. Okay, or 1/3 b. Doesn't matter. I can put it in the brackets. It's all the same. Okay. Okay. So now let's go ahead and multiply, remember, the number times the numerator. So 24 times 3, 24 times 3, got to do this, 72. So we get 72 over 8 is equal to 24 times 5, 120, minus 24 over 3 times b. Okay, why did we do that? You're probably wondering. Because when you go about and actually do the division here, you're actually going to get whole numbers. And that's going to be exactly the same as our above. We just converted it into a more convenient form. So 72 divided by 8, this is equal to 9. 120 divided by 12 is equal to 10. And 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. Okay? Now, this is a lot easier to solve, which is great. Again, we're going to do another one of these, so don't worry. I'll show you how to do another one, but let's just go ahead and work through this one, just like we did before. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. Okay, these are going to cancel, and I'm left with a minus 8b equals 9 minus 10 is a minus 1. And then we need to divide by a minus 8 on both sides. Okay? So then we're left with minus 1 divided by minus 8 is equal to a 1 over 8. And that is equal to b, because the minus 8's cancel. So this is our final answer. And to do the check, we could do that. Here's what I'm going to suggest doing. Well, let's just do the first. Yeah, I'll show you how to do this. So let's do 3/8. This is the check here. Okay. 3/8 is equal to 5 over 12 minus 1/3 times 1/8. Okay. If you have a device, which I'm going to suggest you get if you don't have one, because if you have to take future math classes, this is actually really going to come in handy. Here, let me see if I can move it. Too far. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and take a look here. What I'm going to do is I'm only going to look at the 5/12 minus 1/3 times 1/8. So 5 over 12 minus 1 over 3 times 1 over 8. And I get that. So there's a cool trick. If you hit this math button right here, which is, I don't know if you can see it. Let me move it up here. Math button is right there. You hit the math button, the very first thing that shows up is fraction. So what it'll do is it'll take the answer that you just had and change it into a fraction. And we get 3/8, which, take a look. That was what we got right there. So this is going to check out. So that's kind of the easy way to do the check. Using a device is just kind of making it a little bit simpler. All right, let's do another one. I'm going to show you again just another example so you can see how hopefully this won't be super complicated, but fractions always get everybody. They always have a tendency of messing with people's heads. All right, let's do 66. 66 is 4/5 plus 3x over 10 is equal to 2. Whoop, 1/2, sorry. It's equal to 1/2. Okay, this one's actually a little bit easier to find the least common multiple, or lowest common denominator. Same thing. So again, we're looking at the denominators, 5, 10, and 2. We'll look at the smallest one. 2, so I'm going to just start listing multiples, okay? So follow along. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, 10. That number shows up. So we stop. When the number shows up, we stop. So 10 is a multiple of 2. 10 is also a multiple of itself. Is 10 a multiple of 5? 5, 10. Yes, indeed. So 10 is the number. 10 is the LCM. Okay? So, what we do is we multiply 10 times literally everything. 10 times 4/5 plus 10 times 3x over 10 is equal to 10 times 1/2. Now, let's do the numerators. So 40 over 5 plus 30x over 10 is equal to 10 over 2. Okay, and then we go ahead and do the division. So 40 divided by 5, this is going to equal 8. 30x over 10. The 30 goes into the 10 goes into the 30 3 times, so we're going to be left with a 3x. And over here we get 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5. Okay, and now we can go about solving in the more simple way. So subtract 8 from both sides because we want to get the x's by themselves, and we're left with 3x is equal to 5 minus 8 is going to be a minus 3. And then we are going to divide by a 3. So x is equal to minus 3 over 3, which is equal to a minus 1. Okay. And again, to do the check, let me just do it really quick here. 4/5 plus 3 times minus 1 all over 10 is equal to 1/2. So let's just do this left-hand side in the calculator. Again, I just want you to become a little comfortable with using this. So we've got 4/5 plus, I'm going to do the 3 times minus 1 as just a negative 3. So this will be a minus 3. And you have to use, there's a little button. I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom out here. There's a little button down here that you have to use for a negative sign. You cannot use this minus. It's the calculator will freak out on you if you do. Okay, minus 3 over 10. And now we just hit enter, and we get that. Remember, we go, here, look, math. Fraction, enter, 1/2. Boom. Done. Love it. Okay, let's go ahead and do just a few more problems, and hopefully ones that don't involve a lot of fractions. So, because those are no bueno. Gotta zoom out here. Give me just a second. Okay. We'll do 108. 6 minus 5x is equal to 8 minus 3x. Okay. When you have something like this, one thing that you're going to notice is you notice how you have a number subtracting a variable and then a number subtracting a variable. You've got variables on both sides. It doesn't just show up in one place. So here is the thing that's important to remember. It is important for us to get all of the numbers on one side of an equation and then all of the variables on the other side of the equation. So here's what we're going to do. I want all of my x's on this side, and I want all of my constants on this side. I'll take care of the coefficients in a few minutes. Coefficients are the numbers connected to the variable. So let's subtract 6 from both sides. 6, so we're subtracting 6 because there's a positive 6 here. So we get minus 5x is equal to 8 minus 6 is going to be 2, and then the minus 3x comes along. We can't combine those because they're not like terms. And now we do the same thing we did, except we do it with the variable terms. So over here we've got a 3x, a minus 3x, and I want to bring it to the other side. So to do that, I'm going to add 3x. Okay? We're not dividing, and the reason why is because you have a number that you can add to both sides here to get it all consolidated in a single place. The minute you start dividing when you've got an x on one side and an x on the other side, it really creates a lot of problems. So the goal is always to try to combine them before you start doing dividing. Okay? You can combine them with adding and subtracting before you go about multiplying and dividing. So, all right, so these are going to cancel out. 5 minus 5x plus 3x. Because these are like terms, I can combine them. And I'm just going to add the coefficients together. So minus 5 plus 3 is going to be a minus 2, and minus 2x is equal to what's remaining? 2. So now I am going to have minus 2x divided by the number, the coefficient that's in front, minus 2. So this is going to be 2 over minus 2. These are going to cancel out. I'm going to be left with an x. And 2 over minus 2 is going to be a minus 1. Okay, so that is the solution to this problem. Now let's check it. So here's our check. 6 minus 5 times minus 1 is equal to 8 minus 3 times minus 1. So let's do our multiplication first. Our order of operations, this is going to turn into a 5. This is going to turn into a plus 3 because I've got two negative signs. And this means that I've got 11 equal to 11. And that means I'm done. All right. Whew, I gotta wash this whiteboard off. It is getting nasty. All right, 120. 7x minus 8 is equal to x minus 3. Okay? So again, we want to get the numbers on one side, the variables on the other side. I tend to like having the numbers on the right-hand side and the variables on the left. You can do it however you want as long as they're all on the same side. So let's add 8 to both sides to get rid of that 8. So 7x is equal to x minus 3 plus 8 is going to be a plus 5. Okay? And now I can subtract. I subtract x from both sides, and I get a 6x here is equal to a 5. And then we will go ahead and divide both sides by 6. Because we have this multiplying, we want to get rid of it. And there we go. We're going to find that x is equal to 5 over 6. Now we got to do the check. 7 times 5 over 6 minus 8 is equal to 5 over 6 minus 3. Okay. So this is kind of weird. This is a weird check. It's a little strange. 35 over 6. The 8, the trick when you're trying to do common denominators with just a whole number is take whatever that denominator is and then multiply it by this number. So 8 times 6 is going to be 48. So this is what our numerator is going to be. Okay. Same idea over here. I take this number, I multiply it by that, and I get 18. 6 times 3 is 18. So 6 minus 18 over 3. Oops, sorry, 6. 18 over 6. And now I can do my combination. So the difference between these is going to be 13 over 6. And the difference here is also going to be 13 over 6. So we are done. Okay. All right, one more. Uno mas. 142. 6y plus 2 times 2y plus 3 is equal to 16. So what we're going to do in this case is follow our order of operations. This 2 you can distribute to both of those first. So let's do that. 6y plus 2 times 2 is going to be 4. 2 times 3 is going to be 6. So this is 4y, I should say. And then the 2 times 3 is just a 6. This is equal to 16. Now I can actually, since these are already on the same side, I can combine them into a 10y. Okay. And now that we have this, we subtract 6 from both sides. I get 10y is equal to 16 minus 6 is going to be 10. And the last thing we do is divide by whatever that coefficient is. And we'll find that y is going to equal 1. Now I kind of went through that a little fast, but as we start going through this, I'm really going to start to speed it up a little bit. If you have issues, you can always go back and slow this video down to see what I'm doing. But remember, I've got a 10 times a y. I'm going to divide by that number out in front, the coefficient. And since 10 is dividing by itself, I know that's going to equal 1. Okay? So that is pretty much it for this section. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's it for this section. That's all we're going to do. But if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. Aside from that, I hope you have a great day.